Another reading from A Map of Absence, an anthology of Palestinian writing on the Nakba. This was the first poem from this book that I wanted to share. Such a profound, powerful, and mind-blowing poem, one of the best I've ever read. This is At a Train Station That Fell Off the Map by Mahmoud Darwish, translated by Sinan Antun. Grass, dry air, thorns, and cactus on the iron wire. There is the shape of a thing in the frivolity of none-shape chewing its shadow. A bound void, encircled by its opposite, and there are two doves hovering over the roof of an abandoned room at the station, and the station is a tattoo that has melted in the body of place. There are also two slim cypresses like two long needles that embroider a lemon yellow cloud, and a tourist woman taking photos of two scenes, a sun that has stretched in the sea's bed, and a wooden bench that is vacant of the traveler's sack. The hypocrite heavenly gold is bored with its own solidity. I stood at the station, not to wait for the train or for emotions hidden in the aesthetics of some faraway thing, but to know how the sea went mad and the place broke like a ceramic jar, to know where I was born and how I lived, and how the birds migrated to the north and south. Is what remains of me enough for the weightless imaginary to triumph over the corruption of fact? Is my gazelle still pregnant? We have aged. Oh, we have aged, and the road to the sky is long. The train used to travel like a friendly snake from Syria to Egypt. Its whistle concealed the husky bleats of goats from the wolves' hunger, as if it were a mythical time that tamed wolves to befriend us. Its smoke used to rise over the smoke of villages which opened up and appeared like shrubs in nature. Life is intuitive. Our homes and hearts have open doors. We were kind-hearted and naive. We said, the land is our land, and no external affliction will befall the map's heart. And the sky is generous to us. We hardly spoke to each other in classical Arabic, save at prayer time and on holy nights. Our present serenaded us. Together we live. Our past amused us. I'll come back if you need me. We were kind-hearted and dreamy. We didn't see tomorrow steal the past, his prey and leave. A while ago, our present used to grow wheat and squash and make the wadi dance. I stood at the station at sunset. Are there still two women in one woman who is polishing her thigh with lightning? Two mythic enemy friends and twins on the surface of wind, one who flirts with me and another who wars with me. Has spilled blood ever broken a single sword, so I can say my first goddess is still within me? I believe my old song so I can disbelieve my reality. The train was a landship docking. It carried us to the realistic cities of our imagination whenever we were in need of innocent play with destiny. Train windows possess the magical in the ordinary. Everything runs. Trees, ideas, waves, towers run behind us, and the lemon scent runs. The air and the rest of things run, and the longing to a mysterious faraway in the heart ran. Everything differed and agreed. I stood at the station. I was as abandoned as the timekeeper's room there. I was a dispossessed man staring at his closet and asking himself, was that mind, that treasure, mine? Was this damp lapis lazuli, humidity, and nightly dew mine? Was I one day the butterfly's pupil in fragility and in audacity? And was I her mate in metaphor at times? Was one of those days mine? Or does memory fall ill also and catch a fever? I see my trace on a stone. I think it's my moon and chant. Another ruin and I'll snuff my memories while standing at the station. I don't love this grass now, this forgotten aridity, frivolous and desolate. It writes the biography of forgetting in this mercurial place. And I don't love chrysanthemum over the tombs of prophets. And I don't love rescuing myself through metaphor, even if the violin wants me as an echo of myself. I only love return to my life, for my end to become my beginning's narrative. Like the clang of bells, time broke here. I stood in the 60th year of my wound. I stood at the station, not to await the train or the holler of those who return from the south to the grain, but to memorize the olive and lemon coast in my map's history. Is all this absence, or what remains of its crumbs, mine? Did a ghost pass me by, wave from afar, and disappear? Did I ask him, will we slaughter a gazelle for the stranger whenever a stranger smiles to us and casts us a greeting? Like a pinecone echo fell from me. Only my intuition guides me to myself. Two fugitive doves lay exile's eggs on my shoulder, then soar to a pale height. A tourist woman passes by and asks me, can I take your picture to respect the truth? I said, what do you mean? She said, can I take your picture as an extension of nature? I said, you can. everything is possible. And have a great evening, and leave me alone with dying and with myself. Here, truth has one single lonely face, and that's why I'll sing. You are you, even if you lose. In the past, you and I are two, and in tomorrow, one. The train passed, but we weren't alert. So rise up, complete and optimistic, and wait for no one here beside yourself. Here, the train fell off the map in the middle of the coastal path, and the fires flamed in the heart of the map. Then winter extinguished the fires, though winter was late. We have aged. Oh, how we've aged before we could return to our first names. I say to whoever sees me through the binoculars on the watchtower, I don't see you. I don't see you. I see all of my place around me. I see me in the place with all my limbs and organs. I see palm trees edit my classical Arabic from error. I see almond blossoms, their habits in training my song for a sudden joy. I see my trace and follow it. I see my shadow and lift it from the wadi with the bereaved Canaanite woman's comb. I see what cannot be seen of attractive flow and the whole beauty in the eternity of the hills, and don't see my snipers. I become myself's guest. There are dead who light fires around their graves. There are living who prepare dinner for their guests. There are enough words for metaphor to rise above incident. Whenever the place dims, a copper moon illuminates and expands it. I am myself's guest, a hospitality that will embarrass and delight me until I choke on words and words choke on obstinate tears, and the dead, along with the living, drink immortality's mint. Without talking much about Resurrection Day, there is no train there and no one will wait for the train. Our country is the map's heart, its punctured heart like a coin in the metal market. The last passenger from somewhere between Syria and Egypt didn't return to pay the fare for some extra work the sniper did, as the strangers expected. The last passenger didn't return and didn't carry his death and life certificates along for the sages of Judgment Day to discern his place in paradise. Oh, we were angels and fools when we believed the banners and the horses and that a falcon's wing will raise us up high. My sky is an idea and the earth is my favorite exile. All there is to it is that I only believe my intuition. Evidence conducts the dialogue of the impossible. The story of creation belongs to the philosopher's long-winded interpretation. My idea about the world has a malfunction departure has caused. My eternal wound stands trial without an impartial judge, and the judges, exhausted by truth, tell me all there is to it is that traffic accidents are common. The train fell off the map and you burned with the ember of the past. This wasn't an invasion, but I say, all there is to it is that I only believe my intuition. I'm still alive.